Gloves the goalkeeper, from shot stopper to play starter. For most of football history, the goalkeeper had one job: stop the ball from going in the net. That was it. Stay close to your line. React. Save. Repeat. But modern football changed everything. Then came a revolution. A goalkeeper who refused to stay in his box. Manuel Neuer didn't just defend goal, he left it. He became what's now called a sweeper keeper. Suddenly, the goalkeeper wasn't the last line of defense anymore. He became the first line of attack. Now goalkeepers don't just save shots. They pass under pressure. They break pressing systems. They act like deep-lying playmakers with gloves on. Today, if your goalkeeper can't play with his feet, your entire system breaks down. That's how much the position has changed. Brick center backs, the silent controllers. Ahead of the goalkeeper are the center backs. Traditionally, their job was simple: clear danger, win headers, stop strikers. But the modern center back is something entirely different. They are no longer just defenders. They are organizers. They are readers of the game. They see attacks before they happen. The best example? A defender like Virgil van Dijk doesn't defend by sliding into tackles every minute. He defends by making sure he never has to. Positioning. Awareness. Control. He removes danger before it exists. And that's why elite defending often looks boring. Because when it's done perfectly, nothing happens. High-voltage fullbacks, the most transformed role in football. If there's one position that has completely transformed football, it's the fullback. Once upon a time, fullbacks stayed home. They defended the wings. Nothing more. They were safe. Conservative. Forgotten. Nobody built tactics around them. Then modern managers changed everything. Pep Guardiola, in particular, redefined the position completely. Now fullbacks are engines of attack. They overlap. They invert. They become midfielders mid-game. Players like João Cancelo, Dani Alves, and Philipp Lahm turned the role into something unrecognizable. Today's fullback might defend as a winger, attack as a midfielder, cross like a winger, build play like a midfielder. And in some systems, they are the most important tactical piece on the pitch. A modern fullback doesn't just run up and down the field. They redefine space itself. Brain the midfield, where football is really played. If defense is structure, midfield is intelligence. This is where matches are won and lost. And at the base of it all is the number 6. The defensive midfielder. The anchor. The invisible shield. Their job isn't flashy. It's essential. They intercept passes. They break rhythm. They recycle possession. They connect everything. Sergio Busquets once said through his playstyle, "You don't notice me until I'm gone." And that's exactly the point. When a defensive midfielder disappears, the entire system collapses. Repeat button the number 8, the engine of the game. Above them sits the number 8. The box-to-box midfielder. The engine. The runner. The connector between defense and attack. They do everything. Attack. Defend. Press. Create. No rest. No hiding. Players like Kevin De Bruyne, Luka Modric, and N'Golo Kanté show just how different this role can be. One delivers impossible passes. One controls tempo like a conductor. One covers every blade of grass twice. Same position. Completely different interpretations. That's football intelligence at its highest level. The disappearing number 10. There was a time when football belonged to the number 10. The artist. The magician. The creative genius floating between the lines. Pelé. Maradona. Zidane. Ronaldinho. They lived in pockets of space others couldn't even see. But modern football has changed. Those spaces are gone. Pressing systems have swallowed creativity zones. Now, the classic number 10 is becoming extinct. Because today's game demands more than creativity. It demands work rate, defensive pressure, tactical discipline. Even modern number 10s like Jude Bellingham are no longer free artists. They are hybrid machines. Creativity is no longer enough. You must suffer with the team too. High-voltage wingers, from crossers to goal machines. On the edges of the pitch, we find the wingers. Their job used to be simple. Stay wide. Beat your man. Cross the ball. But that version of football is fading. Today's wingers are inverted. They play on the opposite side of their strongest foot. Why? Because cutting inside creates goals. Mohamed Salah, Lionel Messi, Arjen Robben. All masters of this evolution. Instead of assisting from the wings, they now score like strikers. The winger is no longer just a creator. They are a finisher. Direct hit the striker, the final judgment. At the top of the system stands the number 9. The striker. The most judged position in football. Because their job is brutally simple. Score goals. Nothing else matters. Players like Erling Haaland and Robert Lewandowski have mastered this role. They don't need 10 chances. Sometimes they need one. And the game is decided. But even this role has evolved. Because modern systems now ask strikers to press, drop deep, and link play. Even goal scorers are no longer allowed to stay still. The false 9, breaking the system. Then came the idea that broke football logic. The false 9. A striker who stops acting like a striker. Instead of staying forward, they drop into midfield. They pull defenders out of position. They destroy defensive structure. When Lionel Messi was used as a false 9, football didn't just change. It collapsed and rebuilt itself. Defenders didn't know whether to follow him or stay. And in that confusion, space appeared everywhere. That's the real weapon of the false 9. Not goals, but absence. Globe showing Europe-Africa the truth about modern football. Here's what most people never realize. The formation you see before kickoff is not real. It's a suggestion. A starting point. Because the moment the game begins, everything shifts. Fullbacks become midfielders. Midfielders become attackers. Strikers drop into midfield. The pitch becomes fluid. Living. Unpredictable. Football is no longer about positions. It's about movements. Brain final shift, seeing the game differently. Once you understand this structure, you stop watching football as chaos. You start seeing patterns. You see geometry. You see timing. You see invisible decisions shaping every second of play. And at that moment, football stops being just a game. It becomes a system. A language. A form of intelligence expressed through movement. Because the truth is simple. You were never watching 22 people chasing a ball. You were watching one of the most complex coordinated systems ever created by humans. You just didn't have the blueprint. Until now. And if this changed the way you see football, then you're just scratching the surface. Because in the next video, we go even deeper. Into pressing systems, tactical traps, and the invisible rules that decide who wins before the first goal is even scored. Subscribe, because once you see football like this, there's no going back.